I mean, I could use gazillions more leisure time than I have.
Really? To do what?
Yes. Think, mainly.
What? I need a visual picture of this. Where do you go? What do you sit in?
I don't go anywhere. I'm in my house.
Yeah, I know.
And
where in your house do you sit to think?
Either at my desk or in my bed. I never use my living room when I'm by myself. I mean, who sits in the living room by themselves? That's just weird, isn't it?
Well, I make myself because otherwise I don't feel like a proper human being.
There's no way I could sit in my living room. I'd feel like I was in a play.
I feel like I was in a play. Well, I go in.
So if I was reading a book, I'd be lying down on my bed, probably.
See, I get bum ache after a while.
Yes, and then I have to sit on the edge. And the funny thing that we play this game, my cat and me play this bizarre game where if I'm lying, in like you do in a bed or on a bed, she is at my right elbow. And if I sit up and sit on the edge, she moves her position so that she's still at my right elbow.
Oh,
isn't that funny?
It's a brand new day. Gotta take it on my way. Gotta take it on my way.
Welcome to Own It, Your Business and Your Life, with Nicola Cairncross and Judith Morgan. In this podcast, we're going to cover everything you need to embrace to become a successful entrepreneur, marketing, money, and much, much more. How to create a business doing just what you love. How to own it, your business and your life. This one will be fast, funny, feisty, and very lively. So sit back and enjoy the show.
It's a brand new day. Gotta take it on my way. Gotta take it on my way.
Morning.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well. There are no builders. The sun is shining. The washing machine has just stopped and there's nobody in the house.
That's nice.
We might get peace if we're lucky.
I'm not sure we will. There are some people outside my window banging, not at my house, but somebody else's house. So you might be able to hear that, I think.
Yeah, okay. Well, it'll be a change for you to make a rowdy racket, won't it?
Well, it's been a while, I think, yes.
How's your week been then, love?
Yeah, it's not bad. I pledged to myself, I may even have put it in a newsletter, that Fridays, which are already my day off, I was going to experiment with a digital detox once a week by not being online at all on my day off. And last Friday was the first one of those. And so I shut down everything connected, everything that was a computer or an iPad at 9:00 on Thursday night. And every other Friday I choose to do a group call with Small Business Big Magic. So I had to open up at just before 4:00 on Friday afternoon. So that was 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19 hours offline, which wasn't bad. Now, tragically, once I got back on, I couldn't get off again. So I was there for about 5 hours, collecting up everything that had gone on during the day. But this Friday is one where I don't have to do the call at 4:00. So actually, but what I have to do on Fridays is my newsletter goes out scheduled, but I usually do the social sharing, and our podcast goes out on a Friday, and I usually do the so. So I might have to do 10:30 on Friday morning till 10:30 on Saturday morning, I think, but we'll see.
Well, watch out. I've been continuing my my shiny object cleanse. So one of the things that's gone is Deliver It, because I realised the only thing that I was using to deliver.
Guess what? I canned to Deliver It yesterday as well.
Oh, well, there you go. Poor old Deliver It. They've lost 2 customers this week.
Mm.
The only thing I was using it for was to put our podcast out onto Twitter. So you might not see the automatic notification now. So you might have to go and actually get the URL yourself manually.
Oh.
I knew you'd hate that. I knew it.
Is there another way? Because that's really handy, not just for me, but for our fans. I wonder if there's another thing that you've got that we can latch that onto.
Well, I don't know, but in the meantime, I have.
I was using Deliver It for free.
Oh, wonder why I wasn't then. Okay, well, I'll go and see if I can use it for free to just do that.
Yes, and if you can't, I think I can, because when I say, when I say I canned it, I just unsubscribed from the newsletter that they sent me once a week because it kept showing nothing, which made me realise, I'm not using that for anything. I've superseded it, but I've still got my free membership. So maybe there's a way that.
Yeah, I'm
what's
pretty
the lady called? What's the lady called that does this for us? This bit.
Patricia.
Patricia, yeah. I mean, I can give her access to mine, can't I? If you can't work it out.
Well, you don't. Yeah, I can work it out. So you just need to give me your login, and I'll be able to fix it.
Yes. Okay. I'll have to go looking for it, so you'll have to remind me.
All right. Well, there we go. That's a toleration busted straight away.
Yes. Yes. Could be. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, what do you think of my digital detox Fridays?
Well, I just simply don't know what you do with yourself.
I know. I mean, I could use gazillions more leisure time than I have.
Really? To do what?
Yes. Think mainly.
What? Just what? I need a visual picture of this. Where do you go? What do you sit in?
I don't go anywhere. I'm in my house.
Yeah, I know.
And
Where in your house do you sit? Think.
either at my desk or in my bed. I never use my living room when I'm by myself. I mean, who sits in the living room by themselves? That's just weird, isn't it?
Well, I make myself because otherwise I don't feel like a proper human being.
There's no way I could sit in my living room. I'd feel like I was in a play.
I feel like I was in a play. Well, I go in.
So if I was reading a book, I'd be lying down on my bed, probably.
See, I get bum ache after a while.
Yes, and then I have to sit on the edge. And the funny thing that we play this game, my cat and me play this bizarre game where if I'm lying, in like you do in a bed or on a bed, she is at my right elbow. And if I sit up and sit on the edge, she moves her position so that she's still at my right elbow. Isn't that funny?
That is.
I know.
No, see, what happens to me, even if I'm having a day in bed, because I often think to myself, I could do a Judith today. I could stay in bed all day. I could go and get my food, bring it back to bed. I could bring my laptop up to bed. I could read my books. I
don't actually do that, by the way. I don't have my laptop and my food in bed.
Well, anyway, I think I could do everything in bed because I have to come downstairs and not just walk through. I have to come downstairs.
Yes.
I'm just going to get everything. A bottle of water, go and get coffee, have a banana in bed, meditate, whatever. So I think I'm doing a Judith today.
Yes.
Then it gets to about 3 o'clock and it starts getting dark. And then I think, no, I've really got to get up like a proper grown up. And I go and have a shower and I get dressed. Then I go and sit in my living room until 9:30, 10 o'clock. Then I go back to my bed again.
Yes. Well, yes. I mean, I would probably do it slightly differently than that. I would probably get up as normal, have a shower, have coffee, be downstairs in your lingo for all of those activities, and check in, see what's going on. Not on the detox Fridays, obviously, but on a normal day. And then if I didn't have anything specific that I wanted to achieve today, like a weekend, I might go and read my book. And if I was going to read my book, I might lie down. Now, even at weekends, I'd be more likely to be doing something that you think of as sort of work in what do you call those things in inverted commas. But Friday, there's no point in being in the office because I'm not allowed to be connected to anything. So I did have quite a lot of offline jobs on Friday, like go and post my nephew's birthday card, take my jumper to the dry cleaners, jobs like that, replace light bulbs and things like that, which is still going on. But I could go to the pictures, I could go to a friend's house. We don't know how to do this, Nicola. And last Friday was my first attempt. So, we've got to, you and I could drive to Gatwick and have a cup of coffee. That's the sort of thing. You need something that takes hours of your offline time.
Well, that's why I joined the gym, because it takes 3 hours to get there, get back, work out, swim, sit in the hot tub, get dressed again. So that's why I do it, and that's but we need an entrepreneur's self-help group for leisure time when you don't need to work every hour that God sends.
Well, I'm all right, Jack. Let me be your therapist because I could. Yes, I could. Overachievers downtime. Yeah,
overachievers downtime help group. Now listen, I've got two things, and if you finish, have you finished?
I have. Whip along.
I've got one weird negative thing and one positive fun thing. Last week, 3 or 4 clients signed up. We had the calls. I went through everything. They'd seen the website, so they knew how much the fees were, and we went through the whole situation with all 3 of them, where they paid their fee 3 months in advance and their setup fee, so a substantial investment. And then we sent out, they also signed their agreement online, which we've got, and then we sent out the welcome email, telling them what we needed from them to get started with their ads. One client immediately responded that she didn't know about the click cost budget on top of my fees. And I said, well, I did say to you in the interview, the call we had, have you had a good look at the website and do you know what what everything is going to cost? And she said yes. And she's very much a person who is, a star profile. She's out there in the media a lot. And, she really likes the high touch thing. So when we had our call, I always do my calls with video, regardless if I got my curlers in or not. And, we'd done a video call. We got on like a house on fire, and I really was excited about working with her. Then she started pulling back because she hadn't realised there was a click cost budget on top, which is really interesting. A lot of clients do get a little bit twitchy about the click cost budget, and it's infinitesimal compared with the amount they're paying for the fees, and we had very carefully worked out what she'd need to sell from. I mean, she's got a fantastic website, lots of great products, lots of back end products, high ticket items. It's not like she's ever going to not make a profit. So I was really quite astounded by this. So and then she came back. I said, "What do you need to feel more comfortable moving forward?" Because I had you scheduled in to do your ads today. When we talked last week, we were really keen to get your ads going. So she said, I need to know what you're going to be doing for me. And I was completely stumped. I said, well, what we talked about on the call, I'm going to be, bringing clicks, targeted traffic and qualified leads. And then, it's a partnership. I bring you the qualified traffic and targeted leads. You see immediately if your funnel that is working with organic traffic works with cold traffic, and we work together, because obviously you get my marketing consultancy thrown in. We work together to get your funnel to a point, if it doesn't work straight away, that it's working and making you a profit. And she didn't actually have a funnel, but I had put her in touch already with my a couple of my people who could put the funnel together for her. So, she knew I knew what I was talking about. She knew I had the resources to help her. And this is over and above doing her Facebook ads, by the way, which I wasn't charging for, the consultancy bit of it. Anyway, I said, I'll tell you what, you've already signed the agreement. Why don't you go and have a little scoot through that? Because that lists out in detail what we'll be doing week by week. And in the meantime, can I get on with your ads, please? And she came back and asked for a refund because she said she didn't like the impersonal nature of it. She didn't want to have to go and read the agreement again that she'd signed online. And she just felt that I wasn't perhaps the right person for her. And I was, how in the past I'd got awfully cross about that sort of thing. I didn't get awfully cross. I thought there's a failure of mine to communicate here. And I haven't been good enough at communicating in her style.
Darling, I don't think this is you. Can I just throw something into the mix at this point?
Okay.
This is not the first time I've heard this story this week. I don't mean this story about you and this woman.
Okay. Yeah.
But this is not the first time I've heard stories, or indeed had one of my own like that. So I've been telling you for some time there's something I want to do. It dropped into my lap. The man and I communicated. And then I pulled back a bit because I was a bit scared. One of my clients told me yesterday that she'd had several overtures from people wanting to become clients of hers, but when she'd supplied them with the information, including, and we discussed you in it, the process about have you looked at my website to see how much it costs, all of that, they'd all pulled back. So there's something going on where people are getting up at the beginning of the new year and thrusting forward with their ambitions, your client, my client, and me. And then when we get close to, oh, shit, this might actually work, we pull back.
So,
and I do understand the psychology of why people do this. We're a little bit afraid of the things that we say we want. Now, this harks back to that woman that told us once in a conference that if she became a multimillionaire, she couldn't cope with the emails. There's something going on in your client's mind that if she suddenly gets all of this success, what would that mean? Could she cope with it? She's pulled back, and I've done that, and clients of my clients have done that this week.
Okay. Well, the question is, should I have...
Sorry. So what I was saying, before you ask the next question, what I was saying was, please don't immediately jump into blaming yourself that it's something wrong with you. There are two people in that process. Right, now ask me your question.
Well, okay, so should I have, bearing in mind she'd signed the agreement that says no refunds, should I have encouraged her, nurtured her forward, or should I have done what I did, which was just give her a refund?
I would have given her a refund.
Yeah, I did too.
It doesn't preclude her coming back at another time when she wakes up and realises what that reversal was all about.
Well, it might do, because I might not want to work with her, but
Well, quite. Then I would have that debate with her, and that happens to me too, where people come and say, "Yes, I'm really committed this time," and I remind them about the times they've said that before.
yeah,
And if you have that conversation, I think people appreciate it actually.
yeah, because I held a whole afternoon in my schedule to set these ads up.
Yeah. Yes, and also the thinking you've done around her business and the pitch time that you've done as well.
Yeah.
But it may be it's a numbers thing. I wouldn't take it personally.
Oh,
I know that no, and I know that the businesswoman that you are, immediately would go to, well, what's wrong with the system? I don't always think it's the system, but people are strange, Nicola. What can I tell you? People are strange.
It's almost like they're so excited on the call that they I actually said what the numbers were. In the call, I said, "Have you had a look at the website? It's got it all laid out there." Yes. I know, she wasn't fazed by the fees at all. The thing that tipped her over was the fact that she had to pay £20 a day minimum click costs on top. And somehow, even though I'd said that and it was on the website, she hadn't taken that in. So that was and I have noticed that quite often. Clients are very happy.
Including with me, it's quite scary because that's £600. You call it £20 a day, it sounds nothing. It's $600 a month.
Yeah, but we had worked out on the call how she would make back not only my fees but the click costs on top. And
And for all we know, she's lying in a darkened room with her hands around her head, going, "Oh God, what have I done?" Now, tell me the good thing. You said you had a good thing.
Well, Snapchat. I got all excited about Periscope, and it died in a week or so.
Yes.
Well, Snapchat is everyone's.
Sorry. What died a death? Your interest in Periscope or Periscope?
Yes. Periscope.
Which?
No.
Which?
My interest in Periscope.
Yeah.
I tell you why it died a death. It was because it was video only. You had to be talking to camera or showing something interesting. And because I don't go anywhere very often, I save it all up for once or twice a year. I didn't really go anywhere. So that meant I had to be talking to camera, and I didn't really know what I had to talk about. So although I came up with a spurious thing I could do daily, I wasn't really committed to it emotionally. So Snapchat is something I do with the kids. Well, the kids use it a lot. They use it to chat. They use it to show little videos of their day. At the end of the day, I get a Snapchat story from Phoebe, which sums up her day, which is lovely because it's like I'm sort of there in a way. And so anyway, Dan Norris, my hero, is getting into Snapchat in a big way, and his girlfriend and her sister in it in a big way. Anyway, so everyone's getting into Snapchat. I was watching a massive thing by Gary Vaynerchuk where he Snapchatted his way around New York over a day, and it was absolutely fascinating because it was a real behind the scenes look, even more so than Periscope.
Now, can I please understand then why Periscope? What's better? I don't understand. I don't understand what's better or different about Snapchat. Is it still video based?
It can be video based or it can be photo based, and you can write on the photos or the videos. So you do. Oh, and it's limited time as well. It's literally 30 seconds max. So you take a photograph, and if you choose, it can go into your storyline. If you don't choose, you can just send it to some of your friends. Then if you take a video, it can only be, I think it's literally 30 seconds again. So. And then you can choose if it goes out to some of your friends or goes into your storyline. You can also save it on your phone for uploading to, say, Facebook or Instagram or any of those things, so you can share it on social media as well. But the real interesting thing about it is at the end of the day, you get a story from each of your friends, and it includes their videos and their photos from the day. So it's like a little day in the life of, but because it's only 30 seconds, people can't bang on for very long.
Yeah.
And it was just watching Gary V do it is just a real eye-opener. And then that led me back into watching Gary V's. He started doing a daily V. He's got this cameraman called D-Rock following him around all the time at the moment. And they're basically putting it together into 15 minutes that shows a day in the life of Gary V. And they're doing it every day, and it's absolutely fascinating. So Snapchat, it's actually made me buy an iPhone 6 Plus because I can't possibly do it on my tiny iPhone 5.
Well, I realised when I heard you say your phone that's why I don't get into any of these, because I haven't got a phone that's even of this millennium, let alone could do any of this.
You can have my old iPhone Plus if you like, but I can't see it.
Yes. Now, I'm going to have to insist, if we ever discuss Snapchat ever again, that last T is not silent.
Snapchat.
Yeah, I can't have you calling it Snapchat.
Well,
I've got
what
to have a T. I've got to have a T on the end. Snapchat.
those two words, when you say them, don't sound any different to me.
Well, you're calling it Snapcha.
Snapchat.
Well, the T is silent mostly.
Is it? That's because I'm common.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to say that, but I must have a T on the end that I can hear. Okay.
That's my South East accent coming.
Yes, it is. It is, and we can all go into that, Nicola, myself included. Now, let's talk about fires that may or may not have been fuelled.
Just before I do, I've just got to tell
Oh, you haven't finished about Gary Vee and the Snapchat.
No, I'm going on to Adele now, because if you listen to Adele, who lives in she grew up in South London.
Yes.
She lives in Sussex now. If you
Yes.
listen to, you'll never be able to listen to Sky Fall again, because she never. All the singers go mental because she never pronounces the L.
I feel very, 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 very sorry for Adele at the moment. Before I tell you why I feel sorry for Adele, let me tell you the good news about Adele. Today, which is January the 13th, live, she's doing carpool karaoke with James
I've
Corden.
seen the trailer. It's so.
Yeah, that's going to be great, isn't it? Now, let me tell you why I feel sorry for Adele. On my Christmas day, which you'll remember was the 29th, I sat next to a man from my brother's golf club whose friend, the friend he was most proudest of in the world, works at PRS quite high up. I'm not going to say any more than that. And he started to rant at me about his friend's view about Adele, which was that she doesn't work hard enough. And this has obsessed me ever since that Christmas day, because basically what the man was saying was she worked harder, PRS could make more money, which doesn't seem to me the point of PRS. And then I said, look, if I was Adele and I'd made one of the biggest selling albums of all time when I was 19 and another one when I was 21, I might choose to retire and never work again. And that's my own business. And no wonder people in those creative industries get sucked dry by the machine that makes money out of them. You know, if you're a creator, you create when you feel like it, not when the money men need you to make more money. I'm so angry about this. Can you hear?
Yeah, I can. But also PRS they're in the business of collecting royalties from around the world for the artist.
I know. Well, what he's saying was if she worked harder, he could make more money. Well, stick off. Talk about the tail wagging the dog. You know, when Adele chooses to create output, you can make money, not the other way around.
Surely he's an employee anyway. I've never heard of anyone.
I don't want to say who he is unless this goes, you know. But the point is, I think he was missing the point, quite frankly. I managed to persuade this man, you know, he's working for Adele, not the other way around.
Imagine ending up sitting next to you at an event like that.
Well, honestly, I was outraged because basically he was saying she was lazy.
That's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It comes down to your thing about, about success being easy, or does it have to be a grindingly hard work? It's like,
if you were Adele and you'd done 19 and 21 and you made gazillions of money and you got all the things, and then you won the best song at the Oscars twice. This week she got it. Sorry, the Golden Globes. She got the best song for Skyfall. Anyway, whatever, doesn't matter. Exactly. But the point of this story is, if you didn't want to have a baby and get married and have some time off for the next 60 years, you've bloody earned it.
Quite.
Honestly, it's just people. I can't be doing with people.
I don't know how I'm going to come back from this starter.
No, there we go. Okay, so right now let's do fire fueling.
Fire fueling. You go first.
Yes. Well, the best thing that's happened to me this week, and that's reminded me why I love what I do, is I helped a client to understand her own maths so that she could see that she's already financially free. She can live off her investment income. She doesn't have to do any more scrabbling around for earned income. She can just pay herself to do her own thing.
Wow.
I've written here #envy. Just imagine being able to live off your investment income. You're financially free. Okay, it's church mouse level, but the fact is she doesn't have to work. She doesn't have to
cross out #envy and put #aspire instead.
No, envy isn't a bad word. Jealousy is a bad word. Envy is a good word. That's a distinction my father taught me. There's nothing wrong with envy. It's jealousy that's the problem. I don't feel any jealousy of this at all. I just feel envy.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Well, that's very nice.
But anyway, it was lovely, yes. And she's a very, very, very bright woman, but she has a block around maths. So it wasn't an overnight conversation where it all dropped in, as it might have done for you or me. It was a long-term relationship, starting with a cash flow game, and then her changing her emotional relationship with money, and lots of email and phone maths, Skype maths with me, and confidence building around, so if I would say to her, my favourite sum, like X capital sum times 0% interest divided by 12. She goes, what's that? And I have to do that about 3 times, which is, what's your monthly income from your investments type of thing. But she's there. And when I put the phone down, I thought, that was really valuable work.
Yeah, it is. Remind me of the maths thing when we get to project updates.
Okay.
Okay, good. Yes, that's lovely. It is astonishing, isn't it, why this stuff isn't taught in schools? It just is. It just astonishes me now.
Well, I think the other thing that my clients often get wrong is if I say to them, what do you cost to run monthly? And this is where it started with this particular client as well. And she said, she gave me a huge sum of money. And she gave me a huge sum of money. And I said, no, it can't possibly cost that much money to live your life, because I knew what her life was. What on earth are you doing? And we discovered that she had a buy-to-let property that she was paying not interest only. She was paying capital repayment. So she was draining her savings to repay a buy-to-let mortgage.
As we all know, that's just nonsense.
Well, it's nonsense because of what you and I have been taught.
Yeah.
But the other members of her family, who are very successful with money and quite scarcity-minded, as plenty of people who are successful with money are, actually, were giving her conflicting advice to me. And then an event happened, which I'm not going to say, but it changed the whole thing. And it meant that we could achieve what I was after from day one, which is, look, you've got enough. You don't have to work for a living. You can be paid to do your life's work.
That's awesome. And the reason I said 3.5 earlier is not because that's what it cost me to live, because it actually cost me about 1.5 to live, because I know from experience of working out exactly what the minimum I need to live on is. 3.5 seems to be, whenever I ask people, because I often ask people as well in the throes of working out what they need to get, in terms of 8 clients, what do you need to live on? And a lot of them say 3.5. And you remember that?
Well, quite a lot of people say a lot more than that to me, and I say no. This isn't aspirational. What you want to be earning so you can spend it and have a great life. This is what can you slash and burn your expenses to, so you don't have to go and do a horrid job you hate. Yeah. And it takes quite a long time to train people to get that. So we debate, gym subscriptions, and we debate, all sorts of things. And the thing that you used to talk about in the money gym, which is, if you've been made redundant, you're not going to need suits, travel cards, lunch from Pret. You're not going to need all those things. Frankly, if you haven't got a job, you don't need a gym either. You can walk around the block and come home and lift tins of baked beans.
Yeah, absolutely. The best swimming with piranha makes you hungry. That was the thing that made me very aware of what having a job costs you, and it really opened my eyes. And it's also got the most gorgeous little drawing at the end about financial freedom, which again opened my eyes to what that meant. So highly recommended. Swimming with Piranhas Makes You Hungry, Professor Colin Turner. And if you look online, you'll actually find an interview with him that I was lucky enough to do.
Yes, I knew that. I knew you'd interviewed him. Now, tell me about your fire.
Okay, well, what's fueled my fire this week is, I did that Facebook ads course for one of my clients, and it was a little bit chaotic.
Yes.
All of her students were at different levels of understanding.
Yes. And then immediately afterwards, Facebook changed something as well, didn't they?
Yes, they did. But that wasn't so bad. I just did another video explaining the changes so they could watch that first. But anyway, so I decided that I needed to train up someone else to help with Facebook ads, because, if I'm going to take 3 or 4 new clients on in a week, like I did last week, I need help, especially if I'm going to be travelling a bit. So I decided I was going to train a Facebook ads assistant, but at the same time as doing that, I was going to record us so that I was creating a new Facebook ads course. And It was brilliant. So not only does my trainee now have the videos to refer to that we did together, she was asking good questions from the point of view of someone who had never touched a Facebook ad before in their life. So I went through, I've got something like 12 nice, neat, short 20 to 30 minute maximum videos. that was her initial introduction. I'm now getting them transcribed. She's going to watch the videos again and make a tick list, and then it'll all go into my Trello. So I killed 2 birds very efficiently with 1 stone there, and I love that. Leverage fueled my fire this week, Judy.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. Videos, tick list, transcription. Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's no way on the planet I'm ever going to make a tick list for anything. My brain goes too fast. I can't be bothered. So I thought she could.
I could do a tick list more easily than I could do a video, and I wouldn't consider doing a transcription, obviously.
Well, you send it off to rev.com and they do the transcription.
Yeah.
And I thought she can then watch the video while looking at the transcript, because highly visual, kinesthetic, and then make the tick list at the same time. And then I'll give her a Facebook ad campaign to set up with to have a go with the tick list, and then I will then come and have a look at it.
Yeah.
So James Franco actually says there's three ways to train people. One is to do it in front of them. The next way is to do it together, and the final way is to get them to do it, and then you look at it and go through it with them. So
do you do all 3 of them? I'm not saying. Is he saying you do all 3 of them?
Yes. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So so that was good.
You know where that comes from. You know where that comes from, don't you? It's tell me and I forget, show me and I remember, involve me and I understand. I think is the 2,000-year-old, if not more, Chinese expression.
Oh, very good. Anyway, I loved it because it got this, and the best thing was that the original client came back and said, we want to pay you to use the videos again in the next course, and I was able to say. Well, funny you should say that, because I've just made a whole new batch and they're much better.
One. Yeah. Yes, brilliant. And actually, you may have to do that. That may be something that needs constant renewal, mightn't it be? Yeah,
it might. And I've divided it up now into the bits that might need renewing, so I can just do that video.
That wouldn't be difficult. I agree. Yeah.
But first, a word from our sponsors. Do you feel isolated and alone in running your own home-based business? Do you have worries, doubts, fears and resistance which sometimes make you feel like giving up? Don't worry, you're not alone. In fact, you're perfectly normal. It can be scary all by yourself. But what if you could learn how to become a confident business owner, how to trust yourself more and grow your income, relax and be more creative and productive? Small Business Big Magic is a unique business mentoring group providing grounded practical support and advice, fast responses to your questions, inspiration and solutions to boost your clarity and help you find direction, focus and success in your life and business. Join Small Business Big Magic today for the friendship and encouragement of others just like you and the enthusiasm of a coach who gets you and your business. There's big magic for your small business at judithmorgan.com.
Client challenge of the week then?
Well, it's not really a client challenge of the week. Well, it might be. I mentioned to you last week that what we were going to talk about today was outdated business models. Now,
yes.
I'm going to give you some run-in to this. When I was an accountant, which was 77 to 97, lots of my clients were photographers, graphic designers and interior designers. And I watched their livelihoods disappear because nobody really needs a photographer anymore because there are libraries and newspapers won't pay to send a photojournalist across the world because it's too expensive, and because the margins in newspaper publishing have shrunk away to nothing. Graphic designers and interior designers, we all think that we don't need a graphic designer anymore because we just go to Canva to do it ourselves. But we did in the 80s. You'd go to a design studio, who'd make your letterhead for you. Can you remember all of this kind of stuff? And print your brochures. I mean, you probably do. If you're printing brochures, you probably do need those skills now, but you don't hire them in the same way. And you don't have maybe you do, I don't know. It's certainly in our world, our reality, we don't have rooms full of graphic design graduates, drawing things. We have a go at it ourselves. The same with interior designers. The internet has educated us all, and so has IKEA, enough to think we can have a go at doing up our own homes. Now, not to say that there aren't people still active in that market in the luxury end, but in the ordinary end, so round where I live in South London, there used to be, interior design shops where you'd go in and somebody would advise you about carpets and curtains. I mean, I watched those clients just wither on the vine and die in the end because there was no need for them. Now, I've observed in the last week or so, 3 other equivalents, modern day. So 20 years on, I've found 3 more of those. And I explain one of them to you again, but for the benefit of the listeners, I'll do it now. I have, as you know, a handful of buy-to-let properties, and historically one used a managing agent, somebody who would find the tenant, vet the tenant, do the deposit thing, put the tenant in, do an inventory, send you a monthly bill which took off a fee plus VAT on their fee, and if there was a void, you wouldn't get any rent, and if there was something that needed doing, it cost you money. Now, 3 of my properties have moved over to this new business model where a property company will take a tenancy from me in their own name for anything between 1 and 5 years. And they pay me a fixed sum of money on the same date every month with no deduction of management fee. It always comes in without fail. I'm in the 4th year of one of these arrangements and in the 1st of another one, and just about to take on a 3rd. There's no managing that goes on. There's no voids. They guarantee, because they're the tenant, so they guarantee the rent. They take it from you in condition A and return it to you in condition A, if indeed you ever want to go in there again. They handle all matters arising from who they put in there, so you are not bothered. There's no admin, nothing, no hassle, nothing. Now, the beauty of it is that in one's property accounts cash flow forecast, you can simply put a sum of money which is constant every month of the year with no risk of cost. And for me, that means the writing is on the wall for old-fashioned letting and managing agents.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of my ex-husband who's got a flat in central London. Can I get the details after this? Because
I've got a better idea for him, actually. I've got an even better idea. If it's in central London, I've got an even better idea.
Okay.
But yes, I can give you the details. Now, let me carry on. As you know, I ran a cleaning business for ages, and Emma, my partner, runs it now. But it's been, and what used to happen was we would send out postcards and we would receive telephone calls, and we would manually, personally, humanly handle the telephone calls and send them a standing order mandate, and they would send that back in the post, and then we would find a cleaner for them and manage the clean. Well, now this is all done on my iPad by an app, where on the day I feel like it would be quite nice to have a cleaner with no commitment to the same one at all and no requirement to give her keys, I open up the app, and it's a minimum of 2 hours at £12 an hour in London, so that's 24 quid. And I press, yes, I'd like a cleaner today. And I watch the app scan through all of their cleaners and see who's available. And they say, Mary will come to you from Paddington and she'll be there in 2 hours. And she comes, and when she arrives, she clicks on her iPhone a button that says she started, and I get a text that says Mary started. And at the end, the reverse. She checks off and a text comes saying it's finished. And then it invites me to go to the app and pay for it on my credit card, which means you don't have to have cash in the house for your cleaning lady. And I hold the button down for 3 minutes and it deducts it from my credit card. Now, sometimes it says, sorry, there's nobody available. We'll text you when there is. And so you get a text later in the day saying, now we have somebody, and you do that again. It takes seconds. It is so much, whatever they've invested in that app, it's so much better than the previous business model that all cleaning companies operating the previous model will eventually go out of business.
I've got a question.
Yes.
The one thing that would put me off all that is having to deal with the new cleaner each time and tell her what to do. Do you give her a list?
I don't have to. I don't have, no. I'm here. She comes in and I say, you know, my flat is tiny and pretty tidy, not very clean. I say, would you? I show her where they bring quite a lot of their stuff with them, so they come with scratchy things,
bucket, yeah.
Anything they can put in their handbag. No, not a bucket, but and they're on the tube, so, you know, whatever they like to clean with. And I show her where the Hoover is, and I say I'd like her to do the floors and the bathrooms and the kitchen. And that's it. I go down the garden shed and it's done.
Well, see, I think this is a central London thing, a bit like Uber. It certainly hasn't hit the provinces yet.
Not yet, it hasn't, but they're testing it here. I believe it will. So now you know me, I'm an early adopter. So what I'm telling you here in this section is where I see the writing on the wall, and I haven't finished yet. I've got one more example.
Go on then.
Publishing, which has always been impossible for me as an accountant to see where they make any money at all. Indeed, they don't. They make money on J.K. Rowling, The Joy of Sex and the Bible, I think, something like cookery books maybe. Nothing very much sells in big enough numbers for anybody to make any money. Never has, never will. Now, usually how they do it is publishing companies are owned by global conglomerates who are making money somewhere else. and they quite like the tax break on the loss they're making in publishing. But I'm thinking now, in this example, of all my clients who want to write a book. And many of them self-publish, but after they've done self-publishing, they want the kudos of a proper publisher. So you can do that if you want. But there are so many other models around now. One that Daniel Priestley and Lucy Whittington have used is an imprint, I forget what it's called now, but they basically, you write the words and they do everything else. It looks like a proper publishing, but it isn't. It's called, hang on, I'll remember it in a minute. But they, including in the deal as they do, you know, the editing, the proofing, the getting it into shops, they sell you. It's quite expensive. It's upwards of £5,000, maybe closer to 10, and they give you 1,000 copies. Now, you've done a couple of books with Bookshaker, which is similar. Mindy Gibbons-Klein, as we know, she does something like that. She promised my client that she could get her onto 800 online places where your book would be visible. Now, they are all those models, Mindy and this company that published Daniel Priestley and Bookshaker, they're all taking a piece out of the traditional publishing market. Now, the whole point of this chunk is whatever your business model is, whatever you're doing for a living, and yours is different and mine is different and some of the people that are listening is different, but if you're in an orthodox business model, you've got to keep your wits about you because there are better ways of doing what you do creeping up behind you all the time.
Yes, and I liked the way you made the point about the luxury end of the market, because if I was going to buy a house, I would get an interior designer in because I am absolutely horrible at it. I really have.
If I was going to buy a house, I would get a buying agent in. I wouldn't even buy my own house. I would say to her, this is what I want, find it for me.
Yeah, that place in the sun kind of thing. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But then I'd get my mate who in to do the graphic design. Not the graphic design, the interior design, because I'm terrible at it. Graphic design is one of the only things I don't do in my business. I outsource it, but I outsource it to people on like things like 99 Designs. Actually, that's not true.
Yeah.
I have used 2 graphic designers in the last 5 years, and they've both been incredibly reasonable. I found them on Elance, now Upwork.
Yeah, but they're freelancers, is my point. They're not in. No, my clients had studios with overheads and staff and all of that.
Absolutely. And what was your other example?
Photographers.
Oh yeah, photographers. See, I've got a mate, Paul, who Fletch picks in Brighton. He only does portrait, upmarket weddings, and product photography. And he's really cleaning up, but that's because he's really, really good at marketing himself online. And
I'm not saying. I'm saying it's the number of photographers who could have earned a living doing that 30 years ago is significantly larger.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, is the market shrinks. It's not that there aren't people in pockets doing all of these things. It's that the market doesn't need as many people doing it in the way it used to be done. Eventually that creeps up on all of us if we're not careful.
Yeah, and all of the 3 examples where I can think of people who are doing well, actually I've just sort of a graphic interior designer who's doing incredibly well, is because they're really good at marketing themselves on social media.
Well, I have a client who's an interior designer. She qualified at the Inchbold or some extremely posh school in central London. She lives in central London. She was top of her class, and she can earn a living doing it. But you're talking in the Kelly Hoppen type of space, and there just isn't room in that for everybody.
No, that's true. That's true. So you've got to be a big fish in a small pond, and you've got to know.
You can't say, I've got a business that is letting and managing properties, and you fold your arms smugly and think you're going to be able to do that for the rest of your life, because better ways are creeping up all around you all of the time. So you've just got to have an awareness, that's all, of modernisation of everything and change. And my big bugbear of the week is how much resistance to change there is. And are we bonkers? If we think we can hold off change, we're mad, aren't we?
Yeah, and I've just thought of another example: trainers, consultants, etc., who schlep around the country delivering in-room trainings, and how different it is when you can swap to. In fact, I've helped quite a few people transition from that kind of training and consulting to online training and Skype consulting.
Indeed, and several of my clients have done that too. Absolutely, and especially in England, in the UK, let's say, because the travelling here is awful.
Yeah, it is.
Because we're overcrowded. Whether if you drive, it's going to take you a long time. If you go on public transport, that is just ghastly. But you sort of need to go on public transport in order to not be tired Well, it's tricky. But yes, I this week I've had a consultation with a client who said, that's it, I'm not doing any more in-room training anymore. Because it takes so much out of you.
Yeah, people expect to drive all up and down the country. I had lunch with my mate Pete the other day, who's a gamification expert, came out of Wharton School of Business, top 5%, etc., etc. Chairs Game Fed and has just spoken at, Chairs the biggest organisation of gamification experts, and just spoken at Game Fed in Barcelona or something like that. And he was just, it's taken a year for him to become preeminent in his space, just because we've got, it's a good keyword and he's got a good website, and I helped him do the SEO. And he was just telling me he just got paid to speak in Edinburgh recently, and he was flown up there, stayed in the top hotel. Whereas before, when he was selling, what was he selling? He was selling telecoms systems and CRM solutions. He would have to drive all over the southeast to go and have initial meetings with people before they'd even, consider hiring him. And now it's completely swapped around. He's the one they're after rather than him being after them.
Well, and that's what Guy Levine did as well.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, Guy's a shining example of it all, isn't he?
So now, before I just want to sum up, because I don't want people to be frightened. This doesn't happen overnight. Even if you see the writing on the wall, quite a lot of, because the world is resistant to change, it takes a while for things like, the freelance sites that you mentioned and my app that I'm talking about. And, Mindy's been in this publishing space for as long as I've been in coaching. Do you know what I mean? It isn't overnight, but if you resist it, you're going to die. You've got to keep an eye on. Just an eye on, that's all. And if you don't think like this, don't worry. There will be other people who will. Just see just be aware of what's going on all around you, and think: is this a threat to my business, or do I need to adapt my business to keep current?
Yeah, Guy's a really good example, actually, because he moved into a space which was essentially the SEO space when he first started, but swiftly became. I think he largely does pay-per-click stuff now, doesn't he? But he really has reinvented the old school agency, and he's employing like loads of people now, isn't he? And Fresh Egg is another one.
But in an industry that didn't exist a decade ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And he is an innovator, so he wouldn't even need to hear me say this. He's already scoping out where's this moving. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. Well, I haven't got a lot to add on that. I mean, I totally agree with everything you say, because I'm the interesting thing for me is, that's why I've stopped networking locally. Much as I love to get out the house and talk to grown-ups occasionally, I just found the attitudes of the local business people just so parochial and are 10 years behind what's really happening.
I know. Isn't that interesting? Yes. I suppose, as we always talk about reality. Our reality is through our computers, and that tends to be quite advanced. But it's interesting. When the first property company approached me with this, which was 4 years ago, I was quite I was an early adopter of it, and when it worked so well for me, somebody else offered me the same opportunity with 2 more, and because I'd liked it so much, I said yes, please. And I often, when I'm talking to clients, think, well, there's got to be a better way to do that when they're describing what they're going to do, which is cumbersome, old-fashioned, manual, and all sorts of things. And even when I explain the property thing to a lot of people, I can hear them tuning out, because it's a bridge too far for them as yet. And what I'm effectively telling them is, when we wake up in a decade, this is how it's all going to work.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just thinking about the most annoying part of my week is having to go and get cash for my cleaner every week. So.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I managed to persuade my old one, when I had one, to move on to a standing order. But this is so handy, because not only that, but with the old cleaning model, you have to have a commitment to the same person once a week or once a fortnight or whatever it is. This one, I have no relationship with anybody. The app just sends a human being with an iPhone. Great.
And can you say, if someone's no good, can you say, don't send that one again?
You're invited after their visit to rate them on a 5-star thing. You can even have one called favourites. So it will scan your favourites and let you know when she's available. I think they've just introduced pre-booking as well for those people who are not quite as flexible as I am. Yeah, spontaneous indeed. And you wake up and you go, oh, the bathroom needs
God, it's filthy.
Yeah.
God, God, I'm filthy. I need cleaning right now. Do you know what I need? I need a mum to come round after they've dropped their kids off at school and
Ah,
sort the kitchen out every morning.
I just always wanted a wife, quite frankly, because I so envied. Well, we're going back a bit now because it doesn't work like this anymore. But I so envied all the support people like my brother had when they were building a career. I just never had that. That's why my hair's grey. I've had to do it all for myself.
Now listen, we've only got 12 minutes to go up through.
Yes, I know. We can be very quick, though. We can be very quick. My word of the week is listen.
I think you've had that one before, but I'll let it pass.
No, I haven't. And the reason I've given listen is because of my new project, around conversations.
How's that coming along? Have you got a name for it yet?
I'm going to tell you about that in project updates. Let's do word of the week. Let's have yours. Yeah. Trepidation.
Yes, it's only 8 sleeps till I go away, and
Oh yes.
Travelling is always full of trepidation for me. Although I've got braver since going to Rich's weekend, but the road trip part of it is filling me with trepidation. I was thinking today how many T-shirts I needed, and all that stuff, and I was thinking actually that's
Sorry, what is the road trip bit?
The road trip bit is when we get off the ship, get into 3 vintage Mustangs and drive across America to San Diego from Florida.
Nice.
Did you not know that?
No.
Oh, I was talked into it about 6 months ago, and as it's got closer, I'm thinking, why on earth did I agree to that?
Oh, no, I'd love to do that. I'd even like to do the driving. Fantastic.
Well, I quite like driving. I don't mind driving on the wrong side of the road. We're going to be driving open-top cars, so I must get my Grace Kelly look fixed up. We're stopping 2 nights in New Orleans. We're going to Phoenix and Dallas, somewhere in Dallas. I can't remember where it is. But anyway, it's going to be really, really good fun, but I'm absolutely terrified. We're going across Route 10, which is serial killer paradise, apparently, and we're going to be staying in upmarket hotels because one of our party has a Ferrari concierge service, so they're going to be finding great deals for us every day. And we're going to New Orleans, which is somewhere I've always wanted to go. And
Can I just tell you that New Orleans is one of the most wonderful places I've ever been.
Well, that's why I insisted on 2 nights in New Orleans. I thought you can't do it in one. So.
No.
Anyway, so there's lots of excitement around it, but there's also lots of fear for lots of reasons, and that's why my word of the week is trepidation, because I think it's the only word that sums up excitement and fear in the same word, really.
Well, I think it's how most people feel about a trip, actually, and excitement and fear, you'll remember, you can't really tell the difference between, can you?
Oh, yeah, I can.
I
swapped one to the other daily.
If you describe how one feels and how the other feels, it's exactly the same description.
Yeah, I suppose so. Racing heart, sweaty palms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, project updates then.
Well, mine is this listening thing, which I haven't found a name yet. I've got 3 I quite like. Do you want to hear them?
Go on then.
Straight talk.
Oh, like that one.
Straight talk. Talking shop. And in that one, I don't mean talking shop, I mean talking shop, i.e. a place where one talks.
Not so keen on that one.
Chatterbox.
Nah, don't like that.
It's my favourite.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. It doesn't put me off because, as you know, I always think my own ideas are brilliant.
Yeah, of course you do.
But none of these are the one. I'm still working on it, and there's no rush.
Because you know immediately, don't you, when you find it?
You do.
My project update's very quick. I have made one sale from that webinar, as you know, from last week, but the Facebook ads course just sold its first one this morning. So
which Facebook ads course?
The one I just created this week with the...
Perfect. Yeah.
So I'm using EverWebinar. I'm not pretending it's a live webinar, but I'm just using the facilities of it. And someone signed up this morning, which was rather nice. So
brilliant. And how are you driving traffic there to make that sale from Facebook, presumably?
Just about to tell you. Facebook ads, I have spent £154.50. I've generated 157 leads at 98p each, which is really low. And sold the first one at $97.66. So I need to sell 2 and a bit to cover the cost at that rate. But A, I'm going to put the price up, and B, the lead cost is coming down even further because the campaign's only been running for a week, so it's still
So
season.
you'll let us know when A, it breaks even, and 2, when it goes into profit.
Yes, but the other thing I've done, talking about maths, grade 3 CSE, me, right? Rubbish at maths, as you know.
Yeah.
In fact, often have to consult you to check my sums are right. I've created an online calculator, which I'm going to give the listeners access to. If you go to clicksandleads.com/click-cost-calc, CALC, click-cost-calc, CALC, you will see a rudimentary calculator that if you put in your numbers in the green boxes, it will tell you how much you can afford to spend per click and per lead on any promotion online.
Very nice. And that's rudimentary, not rudimental.
Absolutely. Oh. Who or what's impressed?
One of my clients who lives in Devon has got who's an artist, got her first London exhibition this week.
Oh, lovely. Are you going?
I know. I can't, unfortunately, because it clashes, but I will go. I can't go to the opening, but I will go because the exhibition runs until the 29th of January. Yeah.
Love a nice art gallery opening. Lots of champagne and
Oh, she's beside herself. We basically, the two of us, just sat on a conference call yesterday afternoon going, we were just so excited we couldn't even put it into words.
Oh,
I mean, we've both known it was happening for a long time, but it's this week, so we're excited.
Oh, that is brilliant. It's that's a business model that isn't yet out of date, is it?
No, that's not a business model. So anybody who's an artist and listening, you don't have a business model. Lucky you.
I was thinking of art galleries actually, because there's no replacement for going along to an opening and wandering around.
Well, that's one experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
But actually, there are other ways to sell art, and they may eventually, in the fullness of time, put galleries out of business. It's to do with the premises cost.
Yes, very much so.
Premises cost and staff cost.
And not to mention champagne cost.
I think you'll find that's quite tiny compared to having a full-time member of staff standing in the gallery all day long.
God,
and the overhead in Bond Street or wherever it needs to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's impressed me this week is Moonclerk. Moonclerk, Moonclerk.
Which you've told us about before, but never mind.
Have I? Sorry.
Yes. Is it .com?
It's .com. It continues to impress. It enables me to do quite complex things, like take 3 months up front and then give someone 90 days from paying, but then start an automatic payment of X amount a month, but also to take a setup fee. So
is this the one that's compatible with Stripe?
Yes, and it works.
Now, did you see somebody in High Performing Women saying, "Look out about Stripe"?
Yes, I did. Yeah, there's look out about everything. Everyone hates PayPal as well. The other thing about the reason I'm impressed again with them is because I needed to set it all up in someone up in sterling today. So I went to my Moonclerk account, and of course you can only do it in one currency. But then I just went and opened it. I asked their support, and they said just open another account. It doesn't cost you anything to open an account, and we only take a fee when you put money through it. So I've now got 2 Moonclerk accounts in different currencies.
Oh, brilliant! That is good.
Lovely. Yeah, very nice. Good job they're doing, and they look lovely, their forms. So
and which currencies are you using?
Sterling and pounds. What am I talking about? Dollars and pounds.
Yes. I assumed that. I just wanted to check.
No, I ain't going to do euros. No. That's me. And you?
Okay.
We're done.
Yes, it is me. I do need to talk to you immediately afterwards, unless you've got a client.
No, I'm good. All right then. Speak to you soon. Next week. Bye. You've been listening to Nicola Cairncross and Judith Morgan. The podcast is called Own It, Your Business and Your Life. Do come and visit us at ownitthepodcast.com. We'd love to hear your feedback. You can find out more about Judith and visit her on her website at judithmorgan.com, and you can find Nicola at nicolacairncross.com.